ESL One Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Alienware, Logitech G, and PaySafeCard.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to ESL One Hamburg. We're halfway through our day of play today. We're going to be leaving Group A behind. We're heading over into Group B. You're here on the B stream. It's me. I'm joined by Lyrical and Lacoste. We got some action coming your way soon. Next match is going to be NiP versus Aster. But I think first we should talk a little bit about some of the results from Group A. We've had some exciting stuff so far. Lots of 1-1s. What's the overall impression of the teams so far?
You were right, I think, is the impression.
Well, it remains to be seen. I think we still need to see Secret versus Vici is going to be the big one.
Right. Vici definitely looks strong to me. Payne struggling, Mineski really struggling. But overall, it feels like the type of thing that we were sort of anticipating. Was there any real standout surprises to you at all?
I thought Mineski is going to do better. I didn't see too much out of them. I don't follow the SCA region too much because I'm always assigned to a different region. I don't know why. It's just I know the tier 1 time zone, and I only know the tier 1 scene. Alliance took a game off Mineski. Alliance is either hit or miss. They showed how good they can play in some of the previous qualifiers, but I guess the inconsistency today is kicking in. So, but they can still make it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like we've been saying, it seems like maybe the middle of this group is going to be really interesting. But I guess we've also got Group B coming up. That's the group with VP. They tend to do very, very well at these ESL events. But who do you think is the main competition for them coming into this group?
It would probably be forward still. NiP is one that can stand out and make big plays. I think this is a team that hit their stride really early on, you know, showing up for the major qualifiers. They were able to beat out Lithium, I think, and also Liquid for the spot there. And so impressive showing from them. And then I think those are probably the two to me.
I would say Team Aster. I think they're probably finished at the top of the group. Yeah. Besides Virtus Pro, right? Evos and Complexity, they're probably going to be at the bottom. Yeah. I think there's no doubt about it. But Forward Gaming, we didn't talk about them. Like, they were looking super hot. In King's Cup, the competition was not that great because there was no EG, right? But they are looking as the second best NA team. Yeah,
and they're pretty much, it's pretty much VGJ Storm, right? It's that former roster.
Yes.
But with Universe.
That's upgraded VGJ Storm.
Yeah, exactly. I think people just kind of, I mean, I was like, oh, who are Forward Gaming? And I guess it's an organization that hasn't really been in Dota 2 before.
They removed snaking, came back with the Universe, so I don't want to take anything away from snaking, but Universe is that consistent player that you can always rely on.
Yeah, I think that they're incredibly good. And as much as I like Aster, I think that sometimes they can also struggle from like a limited, and I guess not limited strategy, but like there were a couple of games where like they first picked Invoker and just run it on D-Stones because it's a hero that he knows so well and feels so comfortable on. And there's things like that in the draft where it just is like, I don't know, it feels like it's a forced issue. And sometimes that can work out for you, but sometimes also it can mean that you're limited in your drafting. And I think this is the type of a group stage where as the meta will continue to develop, you can maybe punish it. It's like an EG, you know, they first pick that drow overall and then they just get rolled over. You know, it's the type of thing like that where if you come in and you're not willing to be flexible, drafts matter so much more.
The thing about Forward Gaming is they don't have Yavar. Yavar improved so much during the last season, and Excalibur is going to be the one who's going to stand in for them. He is #1 at EU leaderboards right now.
Oh.
But Excalibur, either he was unlucky, doesn't fit with the teams, or teams are just doing bad whenever he's on a team. tends to underperform on lands, so that's definitely a downgrade for forward gaming, I would say, because Yawar is such a great player. He has a brother who can teach him all the things he needs to know for the mid lane.
Good Dota genes,
yes,
for sure. Do you feel like there's a big difference in hero pool, kind of between what Excalibur brings and what Yawar is bringing?
I didn't see Excalibur for such a long time. He's known mostly for playing Meepo, Tinker, TA, those kinds of heroes, Morphling as well.
And Yawar can be one of those flashy players also when he needs to, but I think that he's tended to be more of like a stable rock type of player as opposed to the one that's going out making the moves. That's resolution in this team. Or, you know, if they need it to be, I don't know, whoever else. Did I say resolution?
Rezo, yeah.
Yeah, because we're talking about forward gaming. I just looked and I saw NiP and I was like, am I losing my mind? Is that actually happening right now? But yeah, and I think that's the thing too that to sort of keep in mind is each one of these matches is going to look different depending upon like what the prioritization is. And I think this match that we're looking at is going to be one of the strangest ones because it's for like Europe/NA versus China/D-Stones because he's a thing in and of itself.
I think PPD came in with a little bit of a, I mean, it's the classic PPD thing to do, right? But the group stage, the initial matches were announced, and I think he tweeted something about China. I mean, PPD does kind of have that reputation of being the China Slayer, so we'll see how it goes.
He's gonna go all in. We have clash of two different styles of Dota here. If you just check the Dota buff, like the top most 7-8 played heroes in the last month or 3 months, you don't see a same hero. That's the huge difference. But the thing is about NiP, I know they were trying things out with position 4 Dazzle, so I'm going to call it a core Dazzle, which was very successful for them. Saxa is going to be the one playing it, but they need to ban out Axe, definitely. This hero just is extremely countered by Axe.
Well, and also it's like the type of hero that fits in the meta regardless of that too. So it's like what is already a hero that people are picking is also a counter to a strategy that you're doing. So you just can't have it happen.
So do either of you guys want to stick your neck out before we even see the draft for NiP versus Aster? 2-0 one way or the other? Just
NiP,
a 1-1? What's the expectation? 2-0 for...
Nobody listens to what I'm saying anymore.
That's fine. If you're right, then they'll look great. If you're wrong, well, no one's going to hold it against you.
I think these two teams are on equal terms of skill, so I would need to see the draft. But it could possibly go to 1-1.
I think that the one that you said earlier, though, about having that stand-in is really relevant because that's something that's going to change stuff so much. And even if it's like, even if they're the same level of player, just having to switch up and have somebody new step in means that the dynamics might be a little bit shifty.
There are no stand-ins in this matchup. But
God dang it. You threw me around earlier. I'm falling apart.
All right, jet lag kicking in.
Yeah. We've all been awake since like 4:30 this morning. So who knows what time zone we're in. But fortunately, I think the players have hopefully been here a few days. They've been able to adjust a little bit. ESL are certainly taking really good care of them up in Hamburg and taking good care of us down here in Cologne. So hopefully they're all in top form. And we do have 10 players in the lobby at the moment.
There's some alt chat going on in this. A little surprised. I don't know if Saxa remembers me when he was in China in the Echo International. Look at that. There's some chatting going on between these folks.
Yeah, D-Stones is getting in there. You've got what's the D-Stone story with you, Lurkle? Can we hear this again? What's the China pub D-Stones adventure?
So it did not start with me. That's the other thing too. It started with Jack, Cap, Fogged, and Merlini, and Jofi actually. And they all played in a pub against this D-Stones Invoker. And, you know, there's a lot of Invoker spammers in China, and they got destroyed by him over and over and over again. And Jack in particular has a fixation on like hating Invoker players because he just gets destroyed by this hero. And so they lost hard, and then they ran into him again a couple days later, and they remembered his name specifically, the D-Stones, because there's a lot of all chatting and question marking going on. And then I think Merlini played like a mid Bane, and then they just kept ganking him over and over and over again when he was playing Shadow Fiend because he was like, oh, I don't need to play Invoker anymore. You guys suck. And then they just destroyed him mid Bane, and then it became this rivalry back and forth.
Okay.
So that's basically what it was. And then I joined in, and I got like, I think I died like 18 times to him or something when we were playing.
And did that cement you as a D-Stones fan for life? Or?
No, the opposite. I'm done with this guy. There's a reason I'm not casting this game. I have a particular, it's not hate, but it's like, a friendly.
An animosity.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what we'll call it.
Sure. All right.
Whenever there's a Jack, there's always some kind of a deep story.
Yeah, there's always a good
like,
story there somewhere, for sure.
He'll make one. I'll tell a Jack story when Forward Gaming will play.
Yeah, and when they play Aster, that is going to be the rivalry match. That's the one to watch out for.
True. That's Team Jack versus Team D-Stones.
Yeah.
I mean, sure there's Sylar and Burning involved with Aster as well, but no, it's all about our boy D-Stones. That's what it.
Well, he was
really
the captain. That was the thing that was interesting. Was he was captaining out of the mid lane and drafting for himself.
I feel like I want to see the shot like inside the booth. Is Burning sitting in D-Stone's chair?
That's a good point.
And making the picks, because we have seen teams like that before, right?
Yeah,
so
there's every ROTK team.
Every ROTK
he's sitting in the chair, just clicking those buttons.
He doesn't seem like he's as intense as ROTK, but that's also like comparing, rainstorm to a typhoon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of a difference there. He's more of like the contemplative type of person, whereas like ROTK is gonna scream at you and
Oh man, I remember ROTK during DAC. Yeah, he was. We were in the same bus, so like you can actually hear him yelling, like he's screaming out of his guts on players what they need to do. Like he was not happy at all.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, and there's the funny thing too, because for a while when he was the coach of Sylar, there was the big controversy that they had, and it was like the last time that ROTK played professionally, where he got into a huge shouting match with Sylar back and forth about like his Beastmaster Hawk placement, and then they like almost disbanded the team because of like Beastmaster Hawk placement. And then they ended up being coach and player again later. So it's like even though there's sometimes animosity or whatever, there's like that grudging respect of passionate people in the Dota community.
Yeah, and it's cool as well. In China, we're seeing the old guard making a little bit of room for picking up some of these newer players and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how Aster do. And both of these teams are going to be at KL as well. So this is also important for them. As we've been talking about, that's kind of the storyline for the overall season. We're starting here. It's not a DPC event necessarily, but all of these teams are going to be taking it super seriously. And we will probably see a patch shaking things up before we get to Kuala Lumpur, I would imagine. But still,
you think so?
Maybe.
It's a while away.
It's a little bit. What's it? Is it November?
I want to say it's November, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But do we have enough of a gap?
That's the big question, right? Like, if we are going to have a patch...
They should just drop it in the middle of this tournament.
We got this one.
Why not?
We had that in the previous season.
It's happened, yeah.
I would be so hyped for it, actually.
Drop it the day before Grand Finals.
Tonight.
Why not?
Yeah, let's do it tonight. Isn't it like, when's Thursday? Thursday is usually patch day, isn't it?
So today's Tuesday.
So the last day of groups.
We don't know which day it is because we work in esports.
We don't know where we are, yeah.
It's true. I said we were in Birmingham earlier. Yeah. I was time traveling and moving. But yeah, I'd be kind of cool for that. The thing that gets weird, though, is that if they do it like now, then they would have enough time to be it before Dream League. But if it happens after Dream League, then you don't have enough time after KL or before KL. Yeah. So it's like which tournament?
The whole schedule's running into... Yeah, we're really getting things going now for the season, it feels like. We had our break after TI, had some shuffles. Some teams are still on break as well.
OG?
That's the other thing. Yeah, OG on break. Liquid still seemingly on break as well, but... things are really picking up. It looks like we're about to get into our draft. So any heroes in particular? We've talked about D-Stones, Invoker. Anything else you want to throw out there for NiP? And we've heard about the position for Dazzle as a possibility.
Yeah, they love the run Lash as well. Lash as a core or a support. And there's this amazing hero called Treant Protector. You won't believe it. Like this hero does mental damage. You can't go against this hero. You can't play aggressive against him because you always need to dive more. You need to focus more. Bring one more extra hero. So it's really hard to play against him.
Yep.
It gives you more time to actually make a move, make a counter move.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap it up for our Vodafone pregame as we now head into the draft. got it ready to go. Ninjas in Pajamas versus Team Aster, game 1 of this best of 2. And we got the Drow Ranger as our very first ban here, guys. So,
classic.
Yeah, it's been trending a little bit. Like Lacoste's been saying, it's been pretty popular over in NA. And it looks like Aster have been doing their homework. I think they played as well, so going to be getting rid of it.
Yeah, I think that the IO also, it's just a perennial hero that's caused so much trouble. The Brood ban also. You know, and when we saw the Invoker first pick overall for them, it was the type of thing that maybe was a China special too, you know? I wonder if it's something they're still willing to go for. It seems like it would be crazy to me, but it's something they could do.
They haven't done it in any of their recent drafts,
okay.
From what I can see here. So they have shifted priorities a little bit, and maybe that was just something that they were trying to get practice with, see if it worked.
Inter-regional matchups are always so weird too, when it was in the qualifier matches, so. Funky stuff. This looks very, very much like what we've seen so far, though.
Yeah, a little bit less support priority than maybe some of the other drafts that we've seen. Only the one support being banned out. Okay, well there you go. Ogre is going to be removed from the pool.
Yeah,
very. Ogre is daddy.
Like, yeah, he's the big daddy. You spent your time at King's Cup, and you're like, all right, Ogre he's the man.
He's the probably most picked hero and gonna be the one who's most contested in this tournament as well. The hero is just way too good not to have it.
So I think that you need to think about banning out the Phoenix now if you're Ninjas in Pajamas, because you can go for the Mirana pick afterwards, but taking the Bloodlust out of the pool, it means that like you have less ways to deal with the egg. There aren't going to be any of the bullying supports, it looks like, so maybe Bane becomes more valuable too.
Yeah, Winter Wyvern's still in the pool. There aren't too many position 5 heroes who are strong right now. If you take Undying, Ogre out, there's not too many left. These position 5 heroes are just way stronger than the others. Yeah, like you can see no one picks Venge anymore. The hero's just over-nerfed. Same goes for Silencer, even though I think Silencer is still gonna get picked until teams realize that this hero is pure garbage.
Let's go Phoenix. I want to see it, man.
Yeah, interesting that Aster are not... Something's happened in this first round of bans that they are not 100% prepared for, it feels like. They're already using a little bit of reserve time on the very first pick. But okay, this is pretty common for this patch. Nobody's going to be too surprised to see Earthshaker coming out.
It doesn't reveal anything. You can't really counter Earthshaker.
So what, you go Winter Wyvern with... You could go Mirana with it here. I think that's fine.
Yeah, good 1-2 punch. They could take the Mirana Bane as well if they wanted, though I don't know if they 100% want to be picking the Bane into the Shaker. Fairly reliable way to cancel the
Axe is still in the pool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
combo breaker.
NiP lost. When I said there's no good counters to Earthshaker, this is a really good counter to an Earthshaker, because if he goes in after Echo Slam, he can't pull off the combo, just global right after.
So do you go like Tree then? Comboed with this? Like PPD loves the hero?
If you go with the Silencer and 3 opener, then you don't have any kind of a lockdown, so there's always a good Storm Spirit, Ember Spirit game.
You give him the punches. You root those people out. Oh, it's going to be the Axe instead.
Is this just normal position 3 Axe, do you think? Nothing weird. Is it just the puppy special, this position 5 Axe? Maybe it's an Envy special as well.
I think it's more Envy special.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can be played as 3, 4, 5, so it doesn't matter. They probably don't have anything planned. Oh, it's going to be an offlane Axe. They don't. They just adapt during the draft.
Okay, and Aster now, maybe thinking about... So I have to think of heroes maybe along the lines of someone can grab a Yules, but also someone who doesn't mind playing into the Silencer. Just going to grab the Necrophos. So strong laning hero, certainly decent enough in lane with the Shaker, so that could be your 2 off-lane heroes that we're looking at right now for Aster.
And if it's a safe lane Necro, then he can tank the creeps under the tower and still regen up. One of the few ones that can do it.
I kind of feel like it's one of the thoughts that you could have here is like, okay, Silencer not a very strong laner, so that means that we can keep Necrophos standing tall in there and maybe even find some kill potential with the Earthshaker dueled up with the Necro if they want to run that lane. But as you said, the other option is that it ends up being maybe an Axe Silencer dual lane, and then you have to deal with like Glaives of Wisdom harassment under your tower while you're also tanking creeps.
That's a weak lane, Silencer Axe. I think you want to pair Axe with something that has more kill potential, and just have a Silencer on the safe lane, have a sustain lane, which is, in my opinion, is not that good because you want to be active with the Silencer. You want to have this chaos happening around the map and you can participate, just steal the intelligence, cripple, especially the intelligence heroes. They don't just lose intelligence, they lose magic resistance, they lose damage.
Yeah. So do you want more setup with the Axe, or do you want more harassment than what the Silencer's bringing? Like, what do you think the ideal partner is for Axe in lane with
something
what we've
with
seen so far?
More magic damage, a follow-up
Phoenix?
stun. Oh, Phoenix is great. It's super good against Necro. It builds into Spirit Vessel.
Yeah.
And Mirana is out. Yeah, so I was talking about Storm Spirit, Ember Spirit, when you have these kind of heroes, Silencer, and maybe if they want to play a support that has no disable, it's really good to ban it out.
So, okay, Storm Spirit being banned out, so Ninjas in Pajamas, a little bit interesting. I feel like they do have maybe enough lockdown to kind of deal with the Storm. Do you think that's more about a lane that they're looking towards here, that they don't want to have the Storm, or is it something like they're looking at picking Lina, and they don't want to play the Lina into a Storm Spirit?
Yeah, Lina and Pagana look like a really good pick right now. Because of the Necro, they need some kind of a burst.
It's also like heavy pick-off, right? If you get like an Axe call and then Storm just follows, that hero's dead, no matter who it is.
But it's NiP banning the Storm.
Right. I guess that's fair too. Well, it's the same type of thing where Earthshaker jumps in and then Storm Spirit goes in. Don't you smirk at me, Lacoste. I'll poke your side.
I mean, you have Axe blinking in Global Silence to follow it up, so their mid game is going to be good.
Yeah.
Most of the big carries of the patch still in the pool at the moment. We still got a TB, still have a Morphling, still have a Phantom Lancer. I would say that those three, plus maybe Spectre, if you guys would agree, are kind of the big... Those are the big carry picks of the patch. That's sort of the big hard carries, at least, that people have been looking towards. We will see that Phoenix pick that you guys have been mentioning. So,
well, I think a lot of those heroes are pretty scary to play now against Axe Phoenix, at least for Team Aster. So I like the idea that Lacoste said earlier of running Necrophos safe lane instead.
They could run Ursa for themselves. Maybe they need an egg hitter. It's really good against Axe. It's great against Silencer. Has no escape potential. Lina is banned out. No Mirana, so nothing to hit the egg right now.
Yeah. And then what's going to hit buildings for Aster in that situation if they do pick Ursa? I guess whatever their mid lane hero ends up being needs to be...
I've seen more teams, they don't pick too much of a building hitters. They just pick a lot of team fight, group up, try to smoke, get a pick off, and then just push.
Right.
It's
just have all of your heroes alive and hit the
still a
building.
Dragonite in the pool if they want to go for it. Dragonite is always great.
But that's not really the egg hitter either, though. I mean, this is the scary thing, right? Is that Aster ban out the Mirana and the Weaver for themselves, and then it's NiP that get the Phoenix. Like, to me, that sequence of events right there feels like it hurts Ninja, or it hurts Team Aster more than anything else, because they don't have an answer for the Phoenix really at all. At least I don't think.
Yeah, not at the moment. 10 seconds remaining. They don't even have guaranteed ways to kill him, right? Because even if they find a Fiend's Grip or they find the Shaker Initiation, there's always going to be that Global Silence to be able to save the Phoenix.
And these heroes are so bad at hitting the egg.
Yeah.
Earthshaker, Bane, you don't want to be in the front line. You don't want to stand and their attack speed is pretty bad. So
Sniper then.
I mean, honestly,
it is.
like, what are the other
snipers?
answers?
Yeah, what are...
Sniper against the Axis. Pretty bad, hard to play into, but I've seen teams picking up Sniper when there's no one to close the gap.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
All right. So I think we've already seen this a little bit today, not in any of our games, but it was picked in some of the other series that have been going on across the other streams. And Arc Warden looking pretty darn good here. What do you think the Arc Warden pick is mostly about here? Is it synergy with the Phoenix? Is it about the kill potential? Like, is he going to be solo killing these supports?
It's really good to protect the egg and all magical damage against the Necro. A lot of zoning tools, a lot of vision. So Earthshaker can't go in. Really good against the Bane, so you can see the grip. And I love Arc Warden in general. I think this hero is underused in competitive games. I've seen some of the teams playing it in NA. Rezo just stomped who was it, J Storm. Or I think in EU, 9 is the one who's playing it a bit different, kind of an Arc Warden, where he goes for Necrobook level 1, doesn't upgrade it, then goes for Midas if needed.
So they do decide to go for the Spectre. This was something I was worried about. In a way, it's good because you can, break Blink from Axe. You can maybe find the Silencer at the start of a fight or something else like that. Although maybe if they just taunt you immediately global. The thing that worries me about it, though, is that this is a hero that can get bullied in lane by the Axe and Phoenix.
It's so bad against Axe and Phoenix. Even if there's a Bane, one of the better heroes against the Axe, so he can't creep skip, but they don't even need the creep skip if they don't want to.
I think they need to fully tri-lane.
What?
Like, do you need to fully tri-lane this for Team Aster to try and save the Spectre's farm? Like, does Earthshaker even do enough?
No, I don't think putting the Shaker there affects the lane.
You don't want to tri-lane if you don't have a self-sustainable off-laner, but even if you do, if you just lose the tri-lane, your game is over.
I mean, it feels tough.
They need a playmaking hero in mid, definitely, who's going to buy space, buy some time and create some space so Spectre can get the farm up.
They don't even really have any deep push at the moment either, right? So they don't have any super good ways to kind of stall this game out.
I'm thinking of Ember Spirit, something that builds into Yule Scepter against the Axe as well. But I just got to check the numbers on Arc Warden and Ember Spirit Shield.
The one thing about Arc Warden that I feel like while you're checking that is that it also purges. The E also purges.
Not anymore? Was that removed?
Is it? I thought that it did purge. Maybe it doesn't.
I think they got rid of it. It doesn't purge anymore.
Okay. Good old
just
updates.
Goes to show you how much we see Arc Warden in competitive Dota. That it's not that often.
The Tinker ban.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's along the lines of thinking about, okay, how are Aster going to potentially delay this game in an annoying way to have the Spectre kind of take over. But I don't know if I would have liked the Tinker pick very much for Aster anyway.
I think the one thing I was going to say, though, about Arc Warden is that it's the type of hero that you can just blow up sometimes. Like, you feel a little bit sort of vulnerable, particularly playing against a Spectre, if they're able to find you with like an Earthshaker or whatever.
Do you guys have a build in mind in particular for the Arc Warden this game? Like anything you're expecting? Is it a Necrobook game? We sometimes see people go greedy and they get like Maelstrom DOTs. Sometimes people go less greedy and they get Treads and a Dragonlance.
If he has a good start, then Midas is okay. But I don't think that's a necessity on the hero. You don't have to commit. You can just go for damage.
I think you need to get into a Hurricane Pike in this game at some point.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind seeing an early Dragonlance, maybe Maelstrom, Hurricane Pike.
Silver
Maelstrom,
Edge
maybe Shadowblade, and then upgrade it to Silver Edge at one point to break the Spectre. All right, so...
Oh, boy, all right, we talked about it. It was a first phase pick for them a little while ago, but now we are going to have the D-Stones Invoker.
I really don't like it. I think that you need it to come online quicker. Like, this puts so much pressure on the Earthshaker to get stuff done and, like, the Necro to get stuff done. I guess that their thought is that they're going to try and play Spectre faster and maybe get like an Urn build on him or something.
Yeah.
And be the space maker for the Invoker.
Yeah. It is a good laning matchup against the Arc Warden, at least. Like, you always have your Forge Spirit, so you don't really care about Flux. You can also just suicide it into the Spark Wraiths as well. So decent for that, but NiP just going to pick Bloodseeker.
Are they going to safe lane Arc Warden and put Bloodseeker mid? Yes.
Yeah, it looks like they might just be
I'm not a big fan of Arc Warden on the side lane because it's 2 versus 2, so they can just use the body system to get rid of the Flux.
I think that I really like the fact that Bloodseeker feels like he's the answer to Invoker there. But right. D-Stones also has played every single matchup.
Okay. So, Lurkle, you're going to be leaving us. So is that the prediction here? You're going with
NiP.
Hardline NiP? I mean, yeah, you have to, right? You said 2-0 NiP before we even saw the draft. So that's going to wrap it up for the draft, guys. Just quickly, we are going to have a look. Remember to vote for the MVP. It's going to be going over the course of the event. So... will VP complete their full set of Mercedes, or will somebody else actually finally manage to take it home? It's up to you guys. All right, so we got game one of Aster versus NiP. We've already heard what Gabe had to say. He's headed off now, but Lacoste, how are you feeling about this draft and these two lineups?
I'm afraid if they just destroy the bottom lane where Spectre is, I don't think they can recover from that. The Invoker can make some space. They have a good setup in terms of using the Nightmare to set up a good Sunstrike and get some early kills, but overall... NiP, they have no egg hitter, good way to protect the egg, a lot of zoning tools as well. Like, look at this, they have Arc Warden with the bubble, you have Bloodseeker that uses Blood Right, plus an egg, so they can fight wherever they want to.
Yeah, and what are you expecting build-wise for the Invoker? So we've already got the 1 point up in the Exort so far, a little bit of Sunstrike scouting at the beginning. Like you've said, there's pretty good setup for the Sunstrike this game. I guess the question is, how early does he go Wex, if at all, for you this game?
I don't think he's gonna go for Wex. Oh, sorry, not the Quas Wex build with a couple of points in Exort. I think it's just gonna be a normal Invoker build with just getting maxing his spells out with the combo, so he can try to kill especially the melee heroes like an Axe and Bloodseeker.
Yeah, and they kind of need that little bit of extra damage, right? They've got some lockdown, but in terms of actually killing heroes this game, a lot of it just falls to the Invoker. Like, Spectre's not going to do damage until later on. The Necrophos really needs a little bit of help as well to find these scythe kills early, so... Aster coming in here aggressively, trying to secure some bouncy runes, but it's just going to be 2 apiece. NiP grabbing the 2 on the top side of the map, nobody wanting to get anywhere near the Axe early on. And so Aster will just grab these bottom 2. And we don't have the double stat shield for 33, but he does have 9 tangos. He's just checking behind the tower at the moment. I don't know if he's actually planning on cutting the wave. Like you guys have said a little bit earlier, I think they can just straight up contest this lane.
Yeah, you don't want to creep skip because Spectre will get a lot of farm. They still waiting for Bane to show up on the lane. Nice Sunstrike on mid to secure the range creep. But also good play from Farah, just trying to be there, share the damage.
Do you feel like this is a winning matchup for the Bloodseeker, or does it depend on how the other lanes go and how many thirst stacks he gets?
Okay. Exactly. If other lanes are going to be low, Silencer is good at doing that early on, and Arc Warden as well, plus Axe is going to keep them low, the overtime damage from Phoenix as well. So I'd say Bloodseeker should have a decent lane on the mid. When I say decent, I mean better than Invoker.
Yeah. And so far doing just fine. We got 5-0 Bloodseeker against the 4-0 Invoker, bottom lane. A lot of harassment being traded back and forth already. XXS is actually already pretty low. They throw out a Fissure just to make sure that they can get that little bit of extra Death Pulse harassment. And we do have a salve being popped by the Arc Warden. XXS doesn't actually have one of his own, so he's just going to have to tango and pulse his way back up here.
This is why I don't like Silencer. He used Arcane Curse 2 times, and that's it. Like, he doesn't have any more spells to use. But the problem is Necro is running low. He's running low on regen.
Yeah, he's giving the Seeker a lot of damage as well over at mid. We can already see that you got Fado with 12 and 3 now. Invoker still only has the 4 CS to his name. D-Stone's not having a very fun time. Spectre's doing okay over top 9 CS. Not a whole lot happening over there necessarily. Just a little bit of harassment back and forth. And does seem like most of the action's down here. Baboka does just manage to get in there and cancel PPD's clarity, but that's about it for the bottom lane. But it seems like a static laning stage is working out just fine for NiP. And do you feel like it's kind of up to Aster? Do they have some rotation potential somewhere that they can start to break this down a little bit? Maybe the Bane
They
rotates.
have a Sunstrike, that's what they have, but the problem is Invoker is low on mana. He already
Fada taking a lot of damage here, just getting auto
mana.
attack down. One more touch might do it. He's got a salve, but he needs to get out of range.
One more.
Oh, all right,
Never
salving
mind.
now up on the high ground, and he's okay. All right, he manned up a little bit too hard there. He really wanted to get the last hit on the Forge Spirit, but then D-Stones kind of kited it back as he was just auto-attacking him. And Fada already back into the lane, but back down to half HP. He really needs to get these last hits to heal back up.
He's going to get full after this.
Okay. Yeah, he's fine. He's under the tower. Got some free CS there.
And has boots of speed now. 2 points in thirst. Top lane
Running at Sylar.
on 70% HP.
Yeah, they're just happy to take that harassment, right? It's making Bloodseeker all the stronger, chew through the regen. They've still got tons up here, actually. And yeah, Fada is looking pretty scary over at mid. These stones can always hold up the snap. He's trying to just clear out the creep wave as quickly as he can, so Fada can't attempt any kind of shenanigans under the tower. And speaking of shenanigans, we've got Baboka stealing waves, not feeling happy with the way that bottom lane is going, but actually unable to complete that. So it looks like it's still going to be a double wave, though, so still going to be something pushing back into the Necrophos.
And they need to pull the lane back. Even Necro is pulling to the side.
Yeah, nicely timed. All right. They're going to get the side pull. That's going to deny one wave, and then they're also going to get the double wave coming in. Baboka taking some auto attacks here, but finds a haste. Fortunately spawning up at 4 minutes. I think he was going to be fine either way, but D-Stone's also kind of low at mid. Fisher, Sunstrike not going to connect. Fada, nicely done. Dodges out of the way. A couple more auto attacks is going to do it, though. And D-Stones draws first blood. That rotation from Baboka. On point, though. Laning stage still overall looking pretty darn good for NiP.
Yeah, so he's going to get boots of speed, which is going to get him better at lane. I mean, he can position himself well against the Bloodseeker, which means the Bloodseeker can't just dive you, and it's also really risky. So he needs to bring out some mana regen, some clarities and mangoes on the mid lane.
Yeah, D-Stones has nothing left in the tank. And you know that Fada's going to be calling that out as well. Like, nobody has to worry about Sunstrike at the moment. Well, Invoker doesn't have the mana, so... And Fada, sensing a little bit of an opportunity here, comes in for a couple of auto attacks, does back off, needs to be wary of the cold snap. Snap comes out now. He's got the salve and just wants to go straight back in. He's actually used a lot. He's bought quite a bit of regen here on the mid lane, but CS still in his favor a little bit overall. D-Stone's doing better than I expected, actually. Only a 6 CS gap.
They want to dive now. That's a dead Invoker.
Yeah, D-Stone's in trouble. Gets silenced up. One more auto attack for PPD is going to do it. Make sure that they steal that 2-int. And Fada is going to have the level 6 up in just a second, so could even go for a follow-up kill if he TPs back into the lane.
Yeah, so he should be careful about just TPing back. Fada has enough mana to use the combo. How did the runes go? 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, 3 for
So 3
NiP.
Yep. Saxa feeling confident that he has the dive here to save him. Stun comes out. All right, dive out. It's going to be just fine, and more harassment from 33. Only level 4 at the moment on the Axe. Fenrir up here doing his level best, but they've already got a Vanguard on this Axe. It's going to be very, very difficult to drive 33 out of this lane. Like we've said, they just kind of have some damage issues on Aster at this stage of the game. Fenrir trying to harass him down a little bit, but it's not really doing too much.
I love what the Axe players are doing. He queued up Quelling Blade, but doesn't buy it. Like,
yeah.
I can just buy a full Vanguard right now. I don't want to even use it. So you end up with no Quelling Blade at all.
Who needs boots? Who needs anything else? Just get to the Vanguard ASAP. Can farm some Ancients pretty quickly. Yeah, 33's game is looking pretty secure at this point, which is certainly good news for NiP since he is the big primary initiator. Fada getting looked at here by Baboka over at mid, but D-Stone's still pretty low on mana. Has not been able to regen that back up. Rupture coming off cooldown in a couple of seconds time as well, so D-Stone's having to be careful.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he used 700 mana after he died in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder where that's all gone. Oh, call up at top. Trouble for Spectre. Sunray also coming in. Sylar going to try and make a run for the trees. It looks like, can he get out of here? They've still got the vision. They've still got the damage over time ticking. He's got the stick charges, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Sunstrike looking for Saksa, but he's salving up. He's going to be okay. Fenrir is here with the potential assist. Sylar just going to try for the TP out. He's actually heading straight back to base. Fenrir now potential target, but 33 a little bit low on mana, so they're just going to have to call it a day.
Now they should make a rotation on the bottom. Arc Warden getting closer to level 6. So that's going to be a good kill if they can grab it. Some intelligence as well for PPD.
Yeah, it feels like bottom lane must have become a 1v1 for a little bit, right? Because PPD was away from the lane. He was ganking the Invoker. Baboka and Fenrir have both been on the other side of the map for a bit. But XXS has been doing really well in the meantime. 51 for 9 versus the 35 and 8 of Ace. And now up to level 7. A little bit of pressure on Ace. Do get the slowdown onto XXS. He's still going to be okay, but takes quite a bit of harassment over on the other side. PPD's going toe-to-toe with Baboka. XXS thinking about running back in, but now just going to go for the TP out. Ace does pop the Tempest double, and Baboka also going to be going for a TP. Fada coming in here with an Arcane Rune Rupture. It just ends up being a bit of a wasted rotation as Fenrir is the one in trouble. 33 going to dunk him down up top.
This could be a big problem for their lineup. The only lockdown that they have / stun is Axe Call. Yeah, that's it. So they can just TP away if they feel threatened.
Yeah, I suppose, well, Bloodseeker can get a Yules if he really, really wants, but probably a little bit unlikely this game. And Sylar comes rotating down towards bottom as if he can do something in this lane, and NiP are going to send him packing. Just immediately throw out the Flux, and Sylar down to half HP. Nothing that he can really do. So I don't know where they're going to find room for the Spectre to continue farming. Top lane doesn't feel safe, bottom lane doesn't feel safe. Aster, this is a pretty big rotation to be making. XXS is looking towards the Axe up here at top. Can he finish him off with the Reaper Scythe? He will not be able to. It looks like 33 is actually going to be able to run this off. Couldn't get the Death Pulse to hit in time. Ace pretty deep under the tower. What is he doing here? That 3-man rotation from Aster comes in. He was getting baited in a little bit by Sylar, and he is going to pay heavily for that.
Yeah, that's just not a place to be. There's no silencer behind you. And also, if you use a Reaper Sight, you want to get that kill. You want to send him to base with the extra 15 seconds on level 1, but that did just not happen. So Axe having a pretty good time. Level 6. He needs a Blink Dagger to initiate the fights.
Yeah.
So runes, 1, 2, 2 for 1 on NiP side, 2 for 2 in the end.
Yeah, a little bit better for Aster this time around. The Invoker is going back for points in Wex now. Got some phase boots picked up for D-Stones. He's got the 3 points up in the Wex, so definitely looking like, especially after that last smoke, D-Stones is thinking, I'm going to be rotating around, making some plays. Fenrir in big trouble down bottom. He gets a little brain sap out, but looks like he's going to be losing 2 int as both of those spark rates hit him at exactly the same time. he decided who he wanted to die to there, and he decided that he wanted it to be Ace. Rupture out on the mid lane. D-Stone's in a bit of trouble, but level 1 Rupture does not do that much damage, so D-Stone just runs back to the tower, throws up the Alacrity, and now throwing down the Cold Snap. He lobs out the meatball. It's not really doing anything. Fada going to stand his ground, but Sylar jumps in with the Haunt. Can they look for a second? Yes, they can, but Baboka was in the river, just in the right place to turn that gank around, and NiP going to end up losing 2 over at mid.
That's a hard kill to get to start with. You have a Silencer who didn't have even mana to use last ward, just a couple of glaives, and that's it. You're diving a tower, your Bloodseeker is not that farmed. He is farmed, but he can't tank all that damage. Good for him. He has a Windlace in his backpack, which probably means that he's going to go for Yule Scepter, which is a good choice in my opinion. They need an extra lockdown.
Yeah, they need some way to cancel these TPs. Oh, D-Stones?
I think he's just trying to use any kind of spells to get rid of the raindrops.
Yeah, a little bit of harassment there. It kind of looked like the beginning of the Tornado Cold Snap Meteor combo, but Meteor was on cooldown. Sylar once again just going to try for the TP out here at bottom, and he's successful. That's another Tempest double being used. He's not really farming a whole lot. Sylar not having a very fun time, but at least he's not dying. Still 0-0 and 3 so far, and Ace does appear to be going for the Midas build this game. So a little bit greedier, but does kind of secure his overall game a little bit more, and might suggest that we're looking more along the lines of that like BOT, Maelstrom, Shadowblade, sort of more pick-off oriented farming Arc Warden rather than the all-in 5-man pushing style that we do sometimes see.
Global silence is up.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna need to use it. Also, it's really.
Is it going to be enough to protect Ace? Is
pain
actually
in
the
the ass
question.
to play Bane against Silencer.
Yeah.
They're already there, so Fisher is used to block him off.
Yeah, PPD does go for the TP out. He's going to be okay. Fada doing his best to pressure over at mid lane. And NiP not really finding much of an opportunity here. Even after that big rotation from Aster, they've still got Necrophos just holding the line up at top. 33, I don't think he's too unhappy with this state of affairs. He's actually getting very close to his blink. So as soon as he picks that up, that's going to be probably the big playmaking opportunity for NiP to start making things happen around the map and actually taking down these tier 1 towers. And looks like they're going to be bringing a lot of heroes in for this this gank. 3-man smoke happening at mid lane, not scouted at all by the Aster wards. And this is a little bit unexpected because it doesn't actually include the Axe. So it looks like they're just going to go and gank to the Axe's lane, make the connection here with the Blink Dagger.
There's no one showing on the map besides Silencer on mid, so it's super suspicious.
Yeah, and you can see it in the way that Aster positioning back behind the tower. D-Stones and XXS both up here. All right, smoke gets broken. They know that they are heroes here. They've got the ward back behind the tower as well. Gonna try for the silence. They're focusing on the XXS first. They're gonna come in, also putting down the Supernova. They're gonna get the call on 33. He wants this D-Stones kill instead. They're looking for both, and it looks like they will be able to get it. They've got the sleep onto the Axe, but that's not enough. D-Stones sleeps himself up, now gets dunked down. Fenrir also getting auto-attacked. And NiP, despite it being a somewhat obvious gank or rotation, they still find 3 out of it, and 2 very high-value kills, the #1 and #2 spots.
Yeah, that's
on
a
Team Aster.
nice play from Bloodseeker. He saw that the smoke was gone, uses Bloodright to get the vision of the area, and then uses Rupture on Necrolite. He also tried to TP out with Necro, which means he needs to go back to the lane on his own feet. So that's gonna have a lot of time taken, and it's gonna cripple him. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, PPD
Yeah, it's just
getting some levels. Yeah, also Global Silence is gonna be ready. He needs to bring some mana, 3 clarities on the courier.
And no reason to change the game plan at all for NiP, right? They can just rinse, repeat, did the exact same thing, wait for Supernova, go for another smoke gank, hopefully find another tower, and nothing's really going to be changing for Aster for a little bit. D-Stones is just rushing his way towards his Aghanim Scepter. The Spectre is still out of this game for a long time, and D-Stones wants this bounty rune, does find a little bit of initiation, gets the ice wall down. They've got the Global Silence being popped. Sox is in the middle of everybody. He doesn't have the egg just yet, 20 seconds to go on that. PPD saunters forward, grabs the bounty rune, and away he goes. Aster not willing to commit any further to this fight. And Ace happily just farming away in the meantime over on the other side of the map. Going to be putting that Midas to use very shortly.
Aster wants to fight right now. I think they, well, maybe not right now. I didn't check the Earthshaker's goal, so.
Yeah, there is a, I mean, Global is on cooldown, so they do have the Fiend's Grip possibility here. Saksa ready, kind of just getting in there with the Supernova, threatening. Fenrir is ticking down really low to that urn. A little bit of trouble there. XXS still standing strong on the front lines, but it's as if they're threatening that D-Stones is there, but he isn't. Baboka somehow not dead just yet up here at top. He's got the Echo Slam. He's running forward onto Ace. There isn't any follow-up. He's just, I think he's dead, but he's just kind of scaring him here.
Stick charges.
Oh, all right. Baboka actually looking like he's okay. Manages to chase back Ace. It feels like he was threatening that there was somebody else coming in there, and there wasn't.
Sunstrike, so
that's true. Yeah, there is the Sunstrike potential. All right, they get another jump in. Necrophos going to be in some trouble. They've got the Tornado. XXS actually not getting dragged too far back by that taunt, but Fada just chews through him with all of that bonus damage. Well above 500 move speed, and we saw Necrophos struggling in our earlier series with Pain, and looks like Necrophos also struggling a little bit here against NiP. As they're just going to take another tier 1 tower, and Aster not really anything happening on the map for them just yet. Sylar is farming in the meantime. He's got 2.1k gold towards his Radiance. He's still yet to die thus far, but that does kind of seem... It's going to take a
huge kill. Baboka died. He's going to delay his Blink Dagger, even though he didn't lose much gold.
Ooh, okay, sleep onto the Phoenix, jump in from 33, gets the call out onto 2. D-Stone's still trapped here. Fada chasing forward. Can they get the vision onto him? He does manage to get into the Ghost Walk. D-Stones stays alive, but they lose the 2 supports. And NiP still just taking complete control over this bottom side of the map, and they are creating so much space for Ace. And he's using all of it. He's taking kind of the full greedy build, going for the Midas into the Maelstrom. What do you think's the overall progression going to be for him here? Does he finish the Mjolnir? Does he get into a Shadow Blade soon? Does he go even greedier and get the BOTs?
He has
what do you want to see?
Queued up.
Okay.
Not a big fan of those, but not a big fan of those in general. But
yeah,
on the Arc Warden, it just seems fine because it increases your farm capability. You stop the push from an enemy team. You can be anywhere on the map. So
yeah, this is kind of the cookie cutter greedy build, right?
It's really greedy. That's Merlini build in public games. Midas into Boots of Travel, no matter what you're playing. Oh, Merlini, too soon, huh?
Yeah.
It's his birthday today, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, happy birthday, Mr. Ben Wu. Hope you're out there having a good time, playing some Dota, listening to some trance. That's always the way.
So Earthshaker has a Blink Dagger now. They need to make him move with it. They need to buy some time for Spectre to at least buy a relic.
Yeah. The next couple of minutes, item-wise, are sort of getting somewhere for Aster. Still a little bit to go on the Invokers. Aghanim Scepter is another 1,300 or so. And NiP, they're on the Warpath once again. Running forward, they've got the Global. Oh, and we have a quick pause from Baboka. There is hardly... There's not a whole lot of vision on the map for Aster right now. Placing it fairly defensively, just kind of around their shrines, grabbing whatever farm that they can. I think realizing that the space on the map is getting really heavily constricted. And okay, looks like we're going to be good to go.
The problem for Aster is they don't have a hero who pushes the lane quickly.
Yeah.
So the lanes are always going to be in favor of NiP.
Baboko was trying to sit up here to back up Sylar potentially, but looks like he's just going to be the one caught. They find him, get the straight up call. Another pause.
All right, PPD is going to say something in all chat. 3, 2, 1, go. That's not PPD. That's someone else on his account playing.
Yeah. No, well, you know, maybe PPD's screen turned off as well, and he's unable to see what he's typing. But okay, we got a couple of issues here. It's about a 4K net worth lead in NiP's favor right now. What is going on there? What even is that?
Oh, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at whatever's happening here at the mid lane during this pause. There's some weird Bane shenanigans, I suppose. So Aster, very unlikely to try and turn this around.
Oh, that's a brain fart. Bane fart.
Ah. Oh, right, Bob. Have Bane's particle effects become disconnected from him? Is that what's happening here? Who knows? Anyway, so they're going to lose the Shaker. He's going to be dead for a little bit. NiP, I suppose, maybe continue the push up at top. Looks like Fada's running over there as well to kind of connect with the rest of the team. Sylar needs to find a way out and go find some farm elsewhere. And you can already see it in what XXS is doing. He's not even, I don't think he's even thinking about coming over here. He's just beelining it for this bottom wave. Going to push it out as quickly as he possibly can. Try and get some lane shove going. Just continue stalling the game out. Do you feel like Aster, is it clear cut for the late game? Like if we're talking about a 3 or 4 slotted Spectre this game, do you favor Aster in that spot, or do you think NiP is still looking pretty good?
It's a Bloodseeker, Arc Warden, Phoenix, so pretty good late game. Even though it's a Spectre, they still have ways to counter it. Spirit Vessel is gonna be done on Phoenix, so that's a lot of damage no matter what hero you're playing. And this is their Earthshaker who just revealed his Blink Dagger, so after he's done, that means they're not gonna do any actions for a minute.
Yeah, it's a shame of a way to kind of get the blink reveal, but NiP have really good control over this top area of the map, so it was always going to be a little bit tough. He may have even walked past that Radiant Observer Ward a little bit earlier. I think they were hoping to kind of dangle the Spectre or maybe even the Bane as bait, because I think they knew something was about to happen. There was going to be another gank from NiP. It's just kind of an inevitability with the way that the game is going right now, but yeah, it did not work out the way that they were perhaps hoping that it would. It's always tough, though, because there's always going to be that global silence. And is this maybe where you're still okay with the silencer pick a little bit? They've gotten out of the laning stage.
That's what
true.
hero provides.
Yeah.
But you need to have a different kind of a lineup just to punish the silencer. Something with a lot of kill potential, let's say like an Ursa, whatever hero that goes in and you have no escape whatsoever, you're just dead.
Okay, so we got BOT is about to get delivered for Ace. What talent did he go for at 10? Feels like everybody goes for the 8% cooldown reduction. Hardly ever see
people
that.
picking up attack speed as well.
I've seen attack speed with like builds where people are going like Treads, Dragonlance, Maelstrom, just like maximum non-greedy builds. But
I don't think you should buy Treads ever on that hero.
On Arc Warden?
Yes. Like you can buy it early on, but then you need to buy BOTs after, like as a third, fourth item. Because it still gives you stats, it gives you attack speed, damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like you're saying, the only argument really is just that a lot of people are buying Treads like on side lanes these days. Just as like I'm not sure if it's quite the same because the duration on the Tempest double is pretty low on the early level.
Have you ever seen Tinker without BOTs? I remember one game. The guy had power Treads.
Oh, God. Sounds terrible. I think the only situation where you'd maybe not buy BOTs is like, what if you had a support Tinker with an OD on your team? Then you don't need to go back to base. You have infinite mana right there. What's the... You don't look convinced, Lacoste.
No, not at all.
Not sold. Okay.
No, I'm just
That's
thinking if you're using the buddy system, sticking together, just gonna get both of us killed.
Okay.
There it is. That Earthshaker.
Say goodbye to your int, Mr. Baboka. Sylar grabs a couple more creeps and then retreats back. He is still desperately trying to farm up that Radiance, and that's going to be kind of the turning point for Aster here, hopefully. They get that Radiance before they lose any of their high ground buildings, and they can find a turnaround team fight with some big Invoker combos and Spectre hopefully haunting in. In an ideal world, maybe that haunt also cancels the Axe's blink, so he doesn't get anything off in the fight. It's a pretty picture, but there's a lot of preconditions, and NiP still very firmly in control of this game. 5k net worth lead. They're going to be pressuring all the lanes now with the Arc Warden just constantly farming and pressuring. And yeah, Sylar, he didn't even get a single one of these creeps. He's been sitting up here just hoping that he'd be able to grab a couple of last hits under the tower, but not so. And 33's TPing down to bottom now, so... Okay, NiP do relent a little bit. They're not gonna, but I think it's more that they're just unwilling to give away any of their towers. You know, they don't want to trade a tier 1, even for a tier 2 at this stage, it looks like.
They want to defend their towers and they want to pressure Spectre. When you're playing in a pro game, you know how much of a farm enemy hero gets. Like you have a clue. Yeah, you have that sixth sense. Is he gonna go for Midas? Can he have a blink?
Oh. All right, PPD getting picked off. Baboka there just willing to expend some ult. They also expending a haunt for that. That was an Echo Slam and haunt used just to pick up the kill. And unfortunately, it's Baboka who gets the last hit. Yeah, they would have really loved to give a little bit more gold to the Spectre there and just really get that Radiance online. But still 600 gold to go for the Relic, and PPD immediately buying a smoke. He gets 2 ultimates used on him, and he's probably saying, team, let's go. If there was ever an opportunity for us to go and make a play, this is it. Fenrir just running forward, spots out Ace, but there are a lot of NiP heroes in the neighborhood, so who's actually found who? It looks like Fenrir is going to be brought down here. Ace even popping off the Tempest double just for good measure. Going to be sending that one over to bottom to deal with a little bit of push that's coming in from XXS. And NiP back to farm stations, kind of. Still not super eager to try and force down these towers. Happy to continue building up their own items in the meantime. And what do we have? What do we have Ace going for next? Okay, he's just going to be finishing up the Mjolnir next. Certainly a really nice item to have against even a hero like the Spectre, right? There's so many individual ticks that you've got the double static charge on 2 different people with the Radiance going, and it's just doing insane amounts of damage.
And you have the best hero in the game. They have Mjolnir on, you have Axe, just jumps in, forces people to attack him. So tier 1 tower falls on the bottom, which opens up the Radiant jungle. But the problem is they can't fight there. They know Earthshaker has no Echo Slam. It's a level 1 ulti, 150-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Did PPD use a smoke? Not yet. Maybe they want to smoke right now.
I don't know what NiP are really waiting for. They are working towards this BKB on Axe, which is certainly going to be important for him. Up against all the counter initiation from Aster, there can be, this could be a Nightmare, could be a Fissure, could be a Tornado. So BKB going to be very important. And it just does seem like this double BKB timing is kind of what they're aiming for here. Bloodseeker also working towards one. So
Spectre's going to have a Radiance by the time they get it. I think Axe needs 700 more to get it.
So how do you think that team fight stacks up? The 2 BKBs on NiP versus Aster with the Radiance on the Spectre and the Aghanim Scepter on the Invoker?
All depends on the initiation.
Yeah. 33. All right, follow-up stun. Can they keep him locked down here? Yes, they can. He's still pinned in. The meatball rolling through perfectly, doing a ton of damage. And the cherry on top is that Reaper's Scythe. Put him in the hole for 75 seconds.
Usually, you would say, what a waste of Reaper's Scythe, because Axe was dead anyway.
Yeah.
But you have a Spectre in your team who's struggling, so you want to cancel that initiation coming by the Axe. So the extra 30 seconds on Axe really means a lot. It means that Spectre's going to get her Radiance before Axe is alive.
Yeah, and Spectre can come and hit this creep wave, not having to really worry at all. NiP are trying to punish this a little bit with all the ultimates used. They are going to come in here and pressure a bit with Ace over at the mid lane, but it's just a Tempest double for now. And still just going to be... still going to be repelled. Real Arc Warden is heading over towards top, but Fenrir's in the neighborhood. And this could be an extremely crucial kill if he comes running into the Arc Warden, but okay. So we got Soxa TPing in. Sylar gets hit by a Flux and immediately heads out of there. He is super close to his Radiance at this point. Yeah, finally has it picked up.
Sold Quelling Blade to have enough gold, and Axe is still not out. The extra 30 seconds really paying off for them. So now it's a completely different game. You have Spectre who finished her Radiance, and you can farm for the next 45 minutes if you feel like it.
Yeah, Sylar's ready. This is his kind of Dota. Ace, Tempest Double's doing quite a bit of damage to him, so I need to be careful. That Shrine is on cooldown at the moment, it looks like, so just going to get handed a couple of Urn charges, and he's going to be okay. Okay, so we've got that Fada BKB. NiP also maybe feeling confident about fighting, but there are ways that the BKBs just don't get out this game. Though they do have the Global Silence to kind of combo break. So even if the Shaker jumps in, gets the right initiation, the Global Silence is always going to kind of be that trump card to make sure that the BKBs come out. So Aster having to be very careful about how they play this. Though if they can bait those BKBs and then disengage or only lose one hero, then that's when they could create a window for themselves. So next couple of minutes going to be very interesting, and Sylar and Ace probably both just farming all the while in the meantime, since they can both join Ace with the Boots of Travel. Oh, they want this Tempest double kill. So it's actually giving them a really hard time. Not going to get it in the end. Yeah, this is tough, and NiP all just playing together. Everybody rushing down the mid lane. Blood Raging up Ace. He is going to be going for the Silver Edge to help out against the Spectre. XSS is TPing in here. His team is not really in the neighborhood, but NiP don't know that. And they are now finding a little bit of a position up here on this high ground. D-Stone's hanging a long way back, not going to risk any kind of double axe call or anything like that.
This is why I don't like Silencer. So you have 6 stolen intelligence, and
he hasn't really done much.
You're just global silence, right?
Honestly,
and you're going to be global silence until the rest of the game.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot that he's gonna get. Is Silencer? He's got a GPM talent at some point, but it's 15.
At 15, so
not at 10. Not Lacoste approved.
Nah.
Doesn't get the Lacoste seal of approval. The GPM talent has to be at level 10. Wait, are you a GPM on Ogre or a cast range on Ogre? 100 cast range? GPM? Always GPM?
All the way.
Oh, okay.
Like I tried the cast range talent. I said I'm never gonna go for this again.
Okay. All right, there you go. Oh, 33 gets the jump in initiation onto the Necrophos. He does have a little bit of counter initiation coming in the form of a Boca. They do have the Rupture Reflection. Yeah, that's trouble for Fada. They're also going to drop down the Supernova, but it looks like it's only going to be the Necrophos kill that they're looking to get here. And he's actually still alive. He's got some wand charges. He uses himself. He's also got the wand. They get the Fiend's Grip over into the Axe. He's going to be brought down on the backlines, but Boca got a 2-man Echo Slam. Ace and Fada both being controlled. PPD also super low. They bring down Saksa. They're about to lose Baboka. It's a 2-for-2 thus far. PPD getting run at. Sylar with the Radiance actually burns down Fada around the tree line. He's got an ultra kill. And Aster, that was the team fight that they were looking for this entire time. They dangled the Necrophos.
Man, Necro. First, he uses Lotus Orb right when he's about to cast.
Like the second.
Rupture,
he must have seen his hands in the air.
I'm done.
Yeah. Fada just had to stand there. He like popped BKB and just sat there.
Yeah, and Axe goes in, and he was waiting with that Yule Scepter for such a long time. He didn't want to use it right away. He was waiting for Phoenix to use a Spirit Vessel charge, and then he removed it so he can pop those Magic Wand and the Death Pulse.
So is that fight a positioning problem for NiP? Are they in the wrong place?
They spent way too much time trying to kill the Necro, but we can talk about the positioning. He was on the high ground. Earthshaker kind of blocked them off so they couldn't pass.
Yep. Yeah, it was some... Oh, there you go. Aster with that. Still not in the lead. It's still about 7K for NiP, but some very big items coming up.
Right now...
You think the momentum is shifted?
NiP probably feels, guys, we need to do something because we're probably going to lose the game if we keep playing like this. We have no smokes left, if I'm not mistaken. All right, PPD has one smoke, so they should try to make something happen. It's always not fun to play against Spectre in the late game. And yeah, you asked me the question, who has a better late game? But considering how this game is going right now, Aster definitely has a better late game. Like Bane, he is a Fiend's Grip. It's really annoying for him to play against the Silencer, so he's not gonna use any spells during the global. We'll try to save people off with the Nightmare, and pretty much when the fight is done, he's gonna try to Fiend's Grip. He can't initiate with it.
I feel like NiP aren't really getting the bang for their buck with this Arc Warden just yet. Like, I'm looking at this Arc Warden, he's got 18K net worth. He is, by all accounts, very stacked, but didn't really do anything in a whole lot in that last fight. And it feels like that's maybe where NiP are struggling a little bit, that they're not getting a whole lot of value out of the Arc Warden just yet. Yeah, we'll see about the next fight.
That's why the gold difference is 6,000, but the game seems pretty even. If you just, let's say, reduce his net worth to Spectre's net worth, that's the difference. That's it. It's all stacked on one hero.
Yeah, and it's not like the 2K gold. Well, there's like... Wait, no, there's gold in the Midas and there's gold in the Boots of Travel, and neither one of those items is actually doing anything in the fight.
So
right?
that's
It's a little bit of attack speed.
Gold. So that's why game feels pretty even, maybe even more on Aster's side.
Yeah, but I mean, Arc Warden's still scaling. He's got his level 20 talent coming up soon. He's just cracked level 19. Was halfway through level 19. So what are you thinking there? 125 attack range versus
attack range against the Spectre, definitely. You want to be out of the dispersion range. Max radius 700, so you can outrange it if she's standing still.
Yeah. But on the other side, we've also got Spectre getting close to some pretty important power spikes with the talents. And the Manta style also pretty crazy because that's going to change Aster from
Global
a team.
Silence from Bloodseeker, the Fire Spirit. You can
not to mention the Roshan potential as well.
Anything.
Yeah.
And she's getting closer to level 20. Once you get that 500 HP, that's a game changer.
Yeah. Well, that's where the break's going to be important from the from the Arc Warden. It's got the Silver Edge picked up. Have to see how these upcoming fights go. Looks like NiP trying to make a play. Well, I think there's just a bouncy rune contest coming up here, looking like NiP might get the better of this one. They've got a death squad down at bottom, waiting for anyone to come and try and contest this bounty, and then Ace is in position over at top to grab those, so it could be a 4-for-0 bounty swing here at 30 minutes. Phoenix kind of sad. He's got his Spirit Vessel, but 0 charges right now. But he's got that level 10 GPM talent, so slowly but surely working his way towards the Shivas. Yeah, yeah.
If you have a Spirit Vessel with no charges, the analyst Grant would say you should sell it.
Sell it? I don't know if I agree with analyst Grant on that one. Might have to consult with Observer Grant to make sure. But
I guess all the observing that he collected this evidence and put it into
all
a fact that you should sell it.
Then scientist Grant processed the data
and gave it
ran
to
it through the algorithm, and then sent it back to analyst Grant. And it was like, no, this is what the numbers say. Statsman Grant as well, maybe also involved there.
I mean, you can't argue with logic. That's the thing here. It's go time, and Arc Warden is building towards Hurricane Pike, so it's really great to outrange the Spectre if you can because of the dispersion.
Yeah, and certainly nice just to be able to, if he can, like, just kind of find the supports.
Downtime. My dyslexia is kicking in. Sorry about that. I wanted to say downtown.
Yeah. Okay, so Aster also smoked up at the moment, looking to find something. Smoke on smoke. Carry still doing their own thing. Ace down in the river. I don't think he's been spotted just yet. He's going to pop a Tempest double, sends that one forward. Looks like he does suspect that there's something going on here. So just a little bit of scouting, some harassment onto XXS. They're just kind of kiting it for now. Oh, Fenrir not very happy with that, but yeah, there's no nullifier or anything just yet on Ace. So not a ton of kill potential from the double, but we do see how hard it can right-click. I mean, they dropped XXS down pretty low there. And just a bit of a standoff at mid lane. NiP seemingly keen to make some kind of a play, but they haven't found an opportunity for the last little bit. Vado's just trying to tank up. He's going for a Scotty here. What do you make of that choice? Synergy with the Sunray? The more health you have, the more health the Sunray heals? Like,
that makes a lot of sense to me. Can't argue with logic again.
Yeah.
I mean, if he goes in against the Invoker who has a BKB, we'll just try to slow him down. It gives great stats.
Yeah.
Same goes for Spectre.
Do you like this more than, say, a Basher? Okay, they got a Rupture out into XXS.
I would prefer a Basher or an MKB.
Supernova also popped. They're going to jump in. They get the call, but once again, it's taking them a long time to kill this Necro. He also gets hit by the Nightmare, still surviving. Now the Spectre coming in with the Haunt. The double BKB is getting popped. Have they actually focused anyone down just yet? PPD going to get dropped. They do get the grip. And now Baboka in the backlines. He's found a 2-man Echo Slam. Saxa, they get the Yules up. They keep Baboka away. Ace coming in from the side with the double, but that's about it. D-Stones are still chasing forward. He's diving under the tier 1 tower. He really wants the Saxa kill. 33 not going to be able to find him. Ace doing what he can as Baboka is still chasing for this. Ace, can he actually kill him off? Doesn't manage to get the Flux out onto him, so Baboka just walks that one off, and Aster easily come in here and claim this tier 1 tower. Just, they keep taking this Necrophos bait that Aster are only willing to offer the Necrophos on the front lines, and it seems like NiP are just biting every time.
Falling for it 2 times in a row. Also, Silencer didn't use his ulti in the previous fight because they were baiting with Necro. Spectre saw a chance, goes in, uses Manta style, just rips apart Silencer.
Yeah, I mean, nothing that PPD can do at that stage. And NiP, all right, slow. That's actually a lot of map control lost, right? They lose the tier 1 mid, they lose the tier 1 top. It's really going to open things up for Aster to, if they win the next fight, maybe look towards Roshan. They're not necessarily the best lineup when it comes to pushing high ground or sieging buildings necessarily, so I would imagine that some of those other objectives are going to be the big things that they're looking towards, but it still feels like we're not really seeing the impact of this Arc Warden in fights. Like, the double is coming in and harassing people a little bit from the side, but Ace isn't really killing anyone with his 22k plus net worth.
They need Axe to get the a good call. By good call, I mean
more than one person.
More than one person, yeah.
Yeah, Aster are not making that easy, though. The positioning's been really good. I think D-Stones especially has been playing super defensively with his positioning this game.
And he has a BKB, so whenever they decide to go in, there's always a defensive tornado if needed. Also nicely timed the Fiend's Grip in the previous fight into Sunstrike. Just pure damage and some right-click full duration grip. So this Spectre now is slowly getting out of control. Level 21. 2.2k HP, getting closer to buy a Reaver.
And at that point, it's going to be very difficult to deal with Sylar. The other thing is that Sylar is just, with the Haunt, he never really has to expose himself at all in these fights. Like, he can always pick his spot, jump in at the right time. He's not really going to get focused down by the... I don't think he's ever really going to get jumped on by the axe. And it seems like Ace even just having a hard time of kind of finding him and landing those auto attacks. And that's also where some of your complaints about Silencer come up as well, right? He's not providing any lockdown. He's not really controlling the team fight. Sure, he can press global, but there's so much weight on 33's shoulders to be the big initiator and providing all of the control for the team.
I said NiP, but I apologize to the viewers because I'm never going to bet on Silencer ever again.
Okay, they get the jump in. They have managed to get the cap all into Sylar. He's in trouble. They do get the Nightmare out. Sylar's still surviving. Global coming through. He's still pretty tanky. He has been ruptured up. XXS trying to provide a little bit of space for him, but Ace has found the opportunity finally with the Tempest double. They right-click through onto the Spectre. So 1-for-1. They have lost Soxa. The Cataclysm is coming in. Ace is almost dead, but Boka's looking for him. They scythe down the Arc Warden. D-Stones finishes a secondary kill. It was Sylar earlier finding the Ultra, and this time around, with Sylar dying, it is going to be D-Stones.
That's 5-for-1 because Phoenix just bought back. Man, I love Cataclysm. That spell is just so
dumb. It's so, I don't know. To me, I'm not a very big fan. Look at that damage dealt by the Evoker. Now Soxa, he just bought back. D-Stones is looking for him. He's going to be able to get the dive away. Looks like he'll be fine. But not a whole lot else that he can really do. D-Stones just applying the pressure. And XXS, meanwhile, he's also got a heart. Okay, so we can see what the game plan is for Aster.
They just need to survive. The overtime damage from Dispersion and the Necro ulti is going to be just more than enough to deal the damage. They just need to survive the first initiation when they use the combo and global. After that, they can easily fight. Also, this Eye of Skadi on Bloodseeker, I don't know what that is, to be honest.
Like, what is it doing?
I'm trying to find a way why he's good, trying to stay positive, but I'm like -10 negative right now.
Okay. Yeah, and the net worth not looking great. Sylar coming in now. They've already got Roshan down to half HP. NiP not even in any kind of position to contest. They're just farming the lanes. There's a huge wave pushing in top. There's a pretty big wave pushing bottom. Aster looking like they are more than happy to just take this. And they've now got the Aegis on the Spectre, so we saw that they could kill him once. I don't know if they can kill Sylar twice. Just doesn't feel like Ace is going to be able to stand his ground long enough to be able to do that. And Sylar, even after, I think in the midst of that fight, after he saw the Ultra kill, he just bought his Reavers. Like, I don't even need to hold buyback. My team is owning, even though I'm getting, getting destroyed in the
If he had ulti there, he would definitely buy back, but he used it earlier and he did his job.
Yeah. So NiP, they do, I mean, what? They've got some pretty good high ground defense. That might give them the opportunity to find the slightly more structured fight that they've been looking for. But also, I don't know if Aster are unhappy about having to sit outside of the base a little bit and continuing to farm. They've still got room to grow on a lot of these cores. So looks like this game could get dragged out a little bit if it is going to be Aster kind of on the front foot. 33 is just going to be going for a Shadow Blade up next, try and find some slightly better initiations, maybe find that two-man call that they've kind of been looking for the last 20 minutes or so.
Aster it feels like they just really stopped. Like, they had the window where they were strong, they were using smokes, they still had one smoke, but decided not to go for it. They gave Spectre more than enough time to buy Sacred Relic. Once you get it, it's Radiance, and then you're in a big trouble. It feels like when you're playing against Spectre, it's the same feeling when you're playing against Anti-Mage. Every single time. It's the hero I hate the most playing against, because you...
Just that inevitability?
Yes. Like, if this drags, if we don't do something, so you feel a lot of pressure that you need tension, to make something happen. Yeah.
Having the inevitability and having the guaranteed late game is always just, it's so nice. Being able to just say, all right, if the game drags on, then we got this. We've got a Hex up on the Invoker. D-Stone's still farming very nicely. And it feels, I still want to go back to this point, it just feels like NiP, none of the timings from the Arc Warden ended up meaning anything. Like he would,
bottom lane.
Oh, yeah, Ace is ratting. Nobody really stopping him, but Sylar, this is his job. Is this a tier 3?
Splinter right here. He's ratting like a madman.
Is he going to get it? Oh, okay, no. Doesn't quite manage to get the tier 3. Just barely surviving, 45 HP. But this is the Spectre's job, right? Push out the lanes.
Yes.
Oh, Axe getting caught out on the side. 33 going to pop the BKB just to make sure that he doesn't get mana burned. That is very expensive. Yeah, nice high ground ward placement by Aster, just spotting him out there in the trees. They're doing all of their homework in terms of pushing this, and they're just throwing Alacrity on the Necrophos and using him as the siege engine. Not normally considered a sieging hero, but
they have Spectre ulti. They know Tempest Double is on bottom lane, so they should try to go.
Yeah, Spectre taking a little bit of harassment from the double, but Sylar, as soon as that fades, he's gonna be able to heal right back up. Soxa's outside of the base for some reason. Not sure what he's doing out here. Bates had a couple of spells. 33 looking for an opportunity to jump in. Baboka gonna use himself. Needs to make sure that he keeps that gem nice and safe. Ace running around on the bottom side of the map, snagging a couple of bouncy runes here and there. Just applying whatever pressure he can. He has picked up a BKB. And we do have an MKB queued up next for him, as Spectre is going to be going for a butterfly. So kind of heading Sylar off at the pass a little bit there. But even with the evasion being removed, still going to be a lot of survivability for the Spectre.
And GPM is online. Silencer with 3 tomes purchased, minute 40.
Finally has it. All right. This is where the scaling truly begins. From 3.5k net worth to... I don't know, maybe 5k by the time the game ends. They do get to jump in. They've got the call. Focusing down onto D-Stones, taking pretty big damage. He's popped the BKB, but he gets right-clicked down. They did pop the Supernova and a bunch of BKBs to make sure that they get this. Sylar still in the backlines. He's also got the Aegis, so it's Sylar versus the world. Global coming through, but 33 still getting chased down. XXS trying to get in here. Wants to use the Reaper Scythe if he can. They've got the break onto Sylar, so they don't have that dispersion damage coming out. He needs to be careful about where he dies. They've got the Fiend's Grip onto Soxa. They bring him down. Buyback as well from PPD. Ace. Double only going to last a couple more seconds. They jump into the backlines. Baboka with the Echo Slam onto 2. Ace, PPD both controlled. They really want to focus down the Arc Warden if they can, trying to lead the Spectre on into the base, but it's a little bit of a dive too far, and Aster are just going to have to call it quits. Sylar doesn't quite make it up onto the high ground, but does finally with the dagger. PPD after the buyback is going to add at least another 2 into the tally.
They're fine with that. 2 buybacks. They only lost 3. Spectre lost Aegis, but still overall good fight for Team Aster.
Yeah, just, I mean, good initiation for NiP being able to find the Invoker first, right?
Oh,
if they found anyone
gem.
else, that would have been trouble.
The big thing is they lost the gem at base.
Okay.
There's
Earthshaker
was
trouble.
the one who had it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a pretty big swing for NiP.
I'm not sure if NiP knows about it.
The Scotty's finally finished. It's just a gem. Yeah, it's just chilling there. Hello? NiP? Anyone? Do you want the gem?
I mean, it's on the greener side of the grass. Okay,
yeah.
He knows it.
Okay, all right. PPD is aware. Is he going to go? Yeah. Did he only just see it? Then he walked past it a second ago. All right. He had his camera fixed somewhere else. It's fine. It's okay. They've got it now. That's what's important. Though I don't know if PPD is necessarily the best person to be carrying it at the moment. XXS picking up an AC now. He is just monstrously tanky. What's he got? 32 armor, D-Stone. Ace is looking towards him, but I mean, no Hex or anything on this Arc Warden, so doesn't have a ton of solo kill potential with the Tempest Double. Just a bit more harassment. About to break the 30k net worth mark is Ace. And what is he going for next? That's still just that MKB. Has enough gold to buy it if he wants it, but
there's the Scotty carrier right there.
Okay, yeah, not going to be going for the butterfly. Actually, finishing the Scotty first. And now thinking about the butterfly.
he's not gonna go for butterfly after he sees the javelin and the quarterstaff on Arc Warden. Yeah, so that's a full MKB. He sold the Midas.
All right. So is that it for Arc Warden? Is this the final? I mean, Boots of Travel 2, Moonshard, sure, but is this the final build? Oh, Aster coming forward. Who's going to get the initiation? Fada's just around the corner on the tree line. Saksa puts out the Fire Spirits. Fada chucks out the Rupture onto D-Stones, but there's not really going to be any follow-up. XXS is just charging in, giving vision. And I did force out that BKB. All right, both teams playing the lane control game for Roshan right now. Yeah, Roshan potential respawn in about 30 seconds time. And XXS is just tanking spark rates. That seems to be his lot in life this game. And they are, oh my god, they're blood raging the Tempest double and then sending it to the other side of the map to Rat. Is this truly what we've come to, NiP? Is that what the game plan is now?
Where is Ogre when you need him? At least the head that casts Bloodlust.
Yeah. I think they would gladly trade... actually, who would they trade for Ogre
Silencer.
At this point? You think?
Yeah.
You don't think the global is useful?
Not
at this
anymore.
stage?
No.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's the downside of the hero. He's good between 20-minute mark, 15 to, let's say, 35. Then they're going to have Lotus Orbs, BKBs.
I like the way that NiP are playing this, though. It seems like they're kind of looking for every opportunity. They're trying to camp bounty runes to find kills. I would imagine that both teams are going to be camping the power runes as well for the next little bit, because any, a DD or something could potentially be game-winning at this stage. So, making the right moves to try and break out of this, but the raw strength of the Aster lineup is also just crazy at this point, right? The Spectre doesn't have to do anything fancy to do her
you
job
just click
in
your
these
ulti,
fights.
that's it.
Press R, attack move the ground,
and she's level 25. This
yeah.
plus 6% dispersion, which brings her to 28.
Yeah, our lovely observer showing that a little bit earlier, but yeah, that's going to be tough to deal with. We do almost have the Arc Warden 25. What do you like here? Lifesteal versus Spark Wraith damage.
He's still... I don't know. Lifesteal is good against the Spectre, especially in the... Like, if the game drags, it's good against the Mega Creeps.
We've seen this before. They're kind of offering up XXS. Double damage on D-Stones. They're heading into the pit. NiP, they do see a little bit of this with their Radiant Observer Ward. So they should have some sense of what's going on, perhaps. They're scouting it out a little bit. They see XXS outside of the pit. He's dragged a couple of catapults over there. D-Stone's also going to disengage, doesn't want to get caught. And everybody's still just playing the lane control game. We got Spectre Illusions pushing out bottom. We're going to have a Tempest double TPing down there. This bottom lane is hotly contested. But knowing that the double is on cooldown for a little bit might create a small window for Aster, but not really doing anything just yet. Sylar seems very keen on the Roshan, though. He's gone straight in there. D-Stone's backing him up. Sylar still working this down. The Spark Wraith scouts it out. They know what's going on. Dire scan.
And there's a Lifesteal picked up.
Okay, Sylar is going to get ruptured. Global gets popped. Saksa jumping through, but I think they can just kite away from this Supernova. 33 couldn't find any kind of initiation, so Supernova going to be a big fat nothing. That's Supernova and Global, both of the supports. Not completely useless at this point. Maybe Silencer is. Saksa's still got a little bit of something to say, but a good opportunity for Aster to head in, and they're going to do just that. They've already popped the Manta for the extra damage. The Desolate going to work. They get the Nightmare over onto the Tempest double. Good Fissure keeping them back. Cataclysm coming through. Not the best timing. Not really going to do too much. The Haunt also getting popped. XXS just trying to create space for this Roshan to get finished off, and it will finally be claimed. Sylar grabs that Aegis. Aster won't be able to grab anything further here, it looks like.
They were just either zoning them out, or he saw a great opportunity to use Cataclysm. They were stuck three on top of each other. Yeah. And if Earthshaker didn't have Arcane Curse on him, he would just go in and they would delete them. Yeah. So that's Aegis for Spectre and Cheese on Invoker.
Yeah. NiP still on this rat plan. They've sent the double down bottom, but Aster charging up out of the high ground. They got the Spectre on the front lines. Aegis for Sylar. He's feeling pretty confident. Tempest double does time out down at bottom. got some damage out of the range tracks at the very least, but that's all that they can really say. And Aster just going to back up and reset. Only 65 seconds to go on the Haunt. They've put that cheese over onto the D-Stone's Invoker, so that's going to help kind of amplify his survivability a little bit in these next couple of fights. And yeah, it looks like both teams going to be able to reset to get all of their ultis back, but NiP still just cannot seem to find this Axe initiation that they need for the life of them.
It feels like they need to just try to defend the base with the bubble.
Yep, they're running forward. All right, they see XSS. They're going to get the call over onto him. Can they burst him down this time around? He gets the Yules off. They're controlling Soxa a little bit on the other side of this fight. He is going to pop the Supernova just to make sure that he's safe. Didn't want to get hit by the EMP. XSS is still running this off, though, and his heart regen's now kicked in, so he's going to go right back to full HP. They get the Hex onto the Axe. They're controlling him a little bit. XSS is still chasing after him, and NiP are just scattering. This isn't a coordinated retreat, and that's going to be trouble as PPD is about to be brought down. He does have the global. Not even going to be able to use it as the Cold Snap prevents it. D-Stone's popped the cheese already. They've got the Scythe along with the Cataclysm that brings down Fada. Scotty not really doing anything for him there, and Ace has been latched on top of by Sylar, still chasing into the base. Echo Slam from Baboka puts one more in the hole. Ace is still just trundling along, but Sylar right along with him, chasing into the base. Tornado comes through, controls 33 a little bit longer. That is going to be the Aegis from Sylar. Claim, D-Stone still chasing even further forward. More buybacks coming in from NiP. Fada trapped inside of the ice wall. He's going to be the next one to fall. PPD also controlled. 110 seconds dead for the Bloodseeker. PPD sent skywards. He's also going to be cleaned up. Sylar running forward into the Sunray. Needs to be a little bit careful. The Blade Mail also doing decent damage. And the right clicks from Ace with the Tempest double to having the desired effect. But Sylar just buys straight back. Haunt straight in. Wants to finish this game right here, right now. 33 dead. He's still got a buyback, but there's 3 heroes on the NiP side with no buyback available. XXS, they can't afford to let him get this heart regen back, but he is healing up. Baboka puts his body on the line, perhaps a bit unnecessarily, but NiP, okay, they do actually hold after all is said and done, and that's with the Spectre buyback also being expended.
Why does everyone have a heart in this game? Like, you have a heart against Phoenix Sunray, against Necro's Heartstopper. Bloodseeker has a heart queued up. You saw what that Sunray did to Necro.
Yeah. Yeah, this is...
He almost died to Axe, Blade Mail, and Sunray.
Ace, all right, thinking about it here, but I mean, just sending in the double for a little bit of harassment. Sylar dropping a little bit low. XXS just going to try and plink down the double. All right, Aster, it's still a 4v2 for the time being. Not a whole lot that NiP can really do. 33 knows that if he jumps in, there's always just going to be some counter initiation in the form of the Fiend's Grip or a Nightmare. So all he can really do is just watch as this lane of Rax gets claimed. Aster take the bottom lane, head swiftly over to the mid lane. Sylar even pops the Manta to make quick work of that. They do have the Silencer back up, but it may as well still be a 2v5 for now. Fada respawning in about 8 seconds time. The bubble not preventing those Spectre illusions from finishing off the second melee Rax, and Aster just going to play it safe. They're not going to try and stick around and complete the Mega Creeps. If they lose the Spectre at this stage, NiP could swing right back down the opposite direction and take Megas themselves, so it looks like they're just going to back up,
it's
reset.
Just one fight, and the Arc Warden can just finish the game with the 2 bubbles and the Tempest
Blood Rage and
double.
Yeah, very, very scary if you're Aster, so no reason to throw at this stage. Sylar is going to be picking up that Butterfly. It looks like we got a Bloodthorn being completed for Ace.
I'm not sure Butterfly was the right choice. Like, he has an MKB and full Bloodthorn.
Yeah, he's actually subbing in the MKB for the Bloodthorn. Interestingly.
I think he's just waiting and is going to swap BOTs. Yes.
Yeah. All right. NiP is... Do you feel like this is their only opportunity here? If they let Spectre get buyback back up, is that just it? Like, they have to go, but
the only one who has buyback is Invoker and...
Jump in call. They have managed to fight XXS. D-Stones, the global now coming through. PPD getting focused down by Sylar. He will tick out to these illusions. The Cataclysm is coming through. Bloodseeker gets eliminated. The Supernova is getting channeled up inside of the Roshan pit. Sylar still chasing forward. He's found Ace over by the Ancient. 33 doing his level best to save him. They will be able to bring down Baboka, but Sylar still alive. Ace will be brought down, dead for 100. 33 will be the last one to fall as they drop the scythe on Phoenix's head over in the river. And with all of them dead, NiP have no other choice. They're going to call the GG here. And in the end, Spectre prevails.
Silencer loses again.
Yeah.
I can't believe this hero is still being picked. Like this hero doesn't provide anything in the laning stage. His all spells are so mana costy. You don't even want to go for third spell because it just doesn't deal damage.
Yeah, yeah. They nerfed the initial damage.
Yes.
On his spells so heavily, and it really just feels like NiP couldn't get everything to line up at the same time, right?
I think they had a window where they could have closed the game. They just needed the proper initiation. Maybe get a 2-3 man pick off, secure the Roche, and maybe even go for tier 3s and try to end it there.
Do you think they should have been so adamant about defending those tier 1 towers? Because I think there was a moment there where they could have maybe committed hard for a tier 2 at top and lost the tier 1 at bottom, but instead they just TP'd the Axe bot and gave up on the tier 2 push.
I mean, tier 1s are important, but if you have a better goal to achieve, they should always go for it, like the thing you mentioned. Also, Axe item progression was just not there, non-existent. He had a good timing on a Blink Dagger, then decided to go for a BKB. After that, they couldn't find any openings.
Yeah, the double BKB timing kind of came and went. We were talking about it for NiP, and then that fight happened. Both BKBs got used, and it was just no problem at all for Aster. They killed the Axe. They did have there's some interesting things there, like the reflected rupture onto the Bloodseeker, kind of completely ruining his fight. And do you feel like the Bloodseeker pick accomplished what NiP were hoping that it would? It did okay in the lane, but then
after that, it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Also, Team Aster played extremely well around the Necro. Like, they were just pushing the limits there with how long he can bait.
Yeah.
Also, can go back to the item build. This is the proper item build that won them the game.
On the
Necro, yes.
Yeah, the treads and the Yules, treads, hood, Yules, Lotus Orb.
Yes.
He just wasted time. Gave Baboka the opportunity to find just the perfect positioning in so many of these fights. Like, we didn't see many or any, well, a couple of 2-man Axe calls, but then it was like always, every single time, Baboka finding these huge initiations. And I'm sure we'll see that in the highlight reel. So that's going to wrap it up for our first game. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be coming back shortly for NiP versus Aster game number 2. So we'll see you then.